This is Coach's Corner with ECISD Athletic Coordinator Todd Vesley.
Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Great job on a short week, on a trip up to Lubbock. Let's talk a little bit about that game.
Well, the short week was interesting, you know, and I thought our players did about what we could during that length of time, and I thought we got all of our bases covered, even though it was in a short week, without going any longer than we typically do. And but the game, we were glad to win the game. Coronado did some really good things, and I think you have to give them some credit. You know, after you get back and you look at the tape, you know, there were a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that we did poorly. Defensively, I think the things that really stood out there was that we made 6 fourth-down stops, and most of those were down within their close to their 30-yard line. We had 5 quarterback sacks. Kobe Pyron had 2 of those. But then the flip side, we missed 17 tackles, you know, and a lot of those in the open field, which gave them added yardage to make a first down. Thomas Munoz had 11 tackles. Haston Young had 8 tackles, I believe. So I think all in all, it was a very good defensive effort. We kept them scoreless, you know, which that's hard to do in this day and age when they've got a spread offense too. So offensively, we threw the ball well. We had 3 touchdown passes. Talon Smith had 2. Tommy Morris had 1 reception for a touchdown. So we didn't have it 80 yards rushing, and that's out of balance for us. I don't think we're nearly as efficient when we don't have more yardage rushing than that, and that's something that we'll have to work on a lot this week.
And how about that third part of the game, the special teams? How'd that work out up in Lubbock?
Well, it was good. It didn't start out that way. We had our first extra point blocked. Then after we scored the second time, we went for 2 and didn't make it. And from that point on, we were good. Protection was good, and Taylor Martin kicked both those last 2 extra points.
So that's good to have him back in the lineup.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
The other thing on special teams was that after we scored, the wind was blowing pretty strong, so we took the wind, kicked off to them, forced a punt, took it down and scored. And then right before the first quarter ended, Brennan Welch returned another punt. And it was one of those deals. It was kicked into the wind. It was short. It was kind of shanked. It took one big hop, and he's a kind of a daredevil guy anyway, and he scooped it up and reversed his field and went about 50-something yards, I think, for our second score. So that gave us a little momentum.
Does everybody's heart on the coaching staff go up into their throat when he does that?
Yeah, it does, and you've got to have that mentality back there to return punts and kickoffs. You've got to have a little bit of daredevil in you, and so far he's been responsible with it and hasn't been flagrant with, or sloppy, I should say, with the ball.
He seems to handle that role very well.
He does, in fact.
Certainly exciting to watch those kick returns.
It is.
Okay, this week you've got Tascosa team coming into town, and let's talk a little bit about your opponent.
Well, they're not mathematically eliminated from the playoff race. Dalton, what did I tell you his last name was?
Brooks.
Dalton Brooks is their quarterback, and he's one of the better quarterbacks in the district. He's a very gifted passer. I think he's between his rushing yardage and his passing yardage, he's nearing the 2,000-yard mark after the 8th game. So he's an outstanding player. They have a lot of young guys playing in some spots. They really do a lot like Coronado. They're going to put some pressure on us with their linebackers as far as blitzes are concerned. Play a little bit of man-to-man coverage. And offensively, I think it's all around Dalton. And you know, whether he runs it himself or whether he throws it, he's got some really good targets. He's got 2 6'3" receivers, and they can go up and get it. Their special teams are sound, and it's going to be a heck of a game. You know, I was hoping that they would be mathematically eliminated by the time we got to them, but that's in our corner because everything that we have a lot to play for, and nothing has been decided yet, so we need to win this game. It's an important one.
Now, as you game and prepare for Amarillo-Tascosa, a home game, you're a great passer. Are there going to be things that you do differently because of the time of year and because of the maturity? And
probably there's always a few wrinkles, but nothing wholesale. I don't think it's going to be within the framework of our original philosophy, and we'll have to tweak a few things just to match strength for strength with what they do. But no, there won't be any wholesale changes, and then offensively we've just got to execute better what we know is good, and I think we'll make a lot of headway there. I'm in hopes this week.
Tascosa, which Tascosa is going to show up at Ratliff? The one that was able to beat Amarillo High, or the one that lost to Coronado? There seemed to be a tale of two different teams there.
And I think that's being Coach Plunk's first year there. I think that's probably not out of character, because a new system, being his first year there, and changing the system from what they were in previous years, you're probably going to have some of that. But they'll have them ready. Him having coached here before, and he and I coached together at Abilene Christian, so they'll have all their guns loaded and blazing when they get here next Friday.
Yeah, they'll be looking for that game, won't they, Coach?
Right.
And they have their back against the wall also.
They sure do.
But we've talked on here each week about how much you control your own destiny and the teams that you meet, with Tascosa and then finishing with Midland High. And we kind of have a log jam, don't we, Coach?
We really do.
As a coach and your staff and your kids, do you address that in any way, or do you just take care of one game at a time, one play at a time?
No, I think the way we've addressed it with our players is that we control our own destiny, and that you have to play it one at a time, and you can't look beyond this week's game, or you'll get sidetracked. And so all of our focus as coaches, and hopefully all of our focus as players, will be on Tascosa, just as it was Coronado a week ago.
Well, Coach, anything else you want to add about Permian Panther football for this week?
Well, we need a big crowd out there on Friday, and it's going to be a very good football game and a very meaningful football game to us, and hope we'll have a good crowd.
I hope we do too. Well, Coach, good luck, and thanks for coming on the show.